What's up, guys? Chavis here, back for a new video, and say hey to the turkeys. And I'm here not for a review, but for a flashback. That's right, the first flashback for the channel. So kind of what I decided to do, not constantly, but every so often, I might do a flashback for a project that came out a long time ago. But the project would have to mean something to my life. You know what I'm saying? So these projects that I do flashbacks on would have to be projects that really I have to go back to, that I have reflections on, because they've were part of a certain time in my life. They helped me. They might help me get through some hard times in my life. You know what I'm trying to say. And so for the first flashback For a first flashback, I'm going to do Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon. So Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon, for y'all don't know, well, not, it's currently 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's not now, but September 15th, which was yesterday, was the 13th year. Yeah, 13 years now that Man on the Moon came out. And well, what can I say about Man on the Moon, man? Like, Man on the Moon has really been a project that has helped me get through so much shit inside my life. You have no idea. Like, for the people that don't know, well, y'all don't know. But the ones, I've basically struggled with depression my entire life. Like, I've been struggling with depression since I was probably 12 years old. And now Man on the Moon came out in 2009. I was in the 5th grade when Man on the Moon came out. Yeah. I was in the 5th grade when that came out, and what can I say about that? Like, it's like I said, I've struggled with depression since about 12, but Man on the Moon has really got me through some hard times, though. Times where I'm just down, times where I've just been so alone and so in my own thoughts. Like, Man on the Moon has helped me get through that shit. I mean, songs, of course, like Hey and Night, of course. Songs like Soundtrack to My Life. God, I'm trying to think more. Sounds like Pursuit of Happiness. The Prayer. Like, there's so many songs on that project that have got me through so much shit. And for people who don't really get it, it's like, yeah, I know what you understand. It's kind of like, well, how can you relate to something? Like, you haven't even, like, how can you relate to an album when the only thing, like, you know what I'm saying? How can a project relate to feelings that you're going through? And my response to that is just, you have to feel it. The point of music's to feel it. You have to feel the emotions. You have to feel the emotions. That's such a good thing about music, is that music can really apply to your life. Like, it really can. It can really apply to things you're going through right now. And that's the good thing about music, is you can feel where a lot of them are coming from. And on Man on the Moon, I feel where he's coming from on a lot of those tracks. Like, just his vocals and the way he can really. Of course, there's so many people that say his. Like, you know what I'm saying? His hums. Like, and just the stuff he talks about. Like, he talks about depression. Like, he talks about depression all throughout that album, and how he feels like he's the one that really kind of is an outcast, because, like, yeah, he was signed to Kanye, but you know, you had to think back then, though, he was coming out like a whole new sound. Like, Cudi came out doing some shit that nobody had heard before from somebody. Like, I think that Cudi was one of the first few people to talk about shit like that, depression and stuff like that. Because in 2009, there was not too many people. Wait, who was out in 2009? The biggest person in 2009 was probably Drake. That was the biggest person in 2009 was Drake. Drake had just come out with So Far Gone, and he had just been signed. He had just been signed to Wayne. So, Kid Cudi was. When Kid Cudi came out with his project, no one knew what to expect because they were like, okay, yeah, he's signed to Kanye, but he's come out with this whole new sound that nobody's heard before. And yeah, what some people can say is there have been that Kanye has done that before in the past, but not to the same extent that Cudi did it, because Cudi was just a lot more. He was a lot more open, is what I'm trying to say, and I really feel that. And I have to applaud him for that because he really has. And the reason why I'm doing this album for the most part is because Kid Cudi really talked about. Kid Cudi was the one that started the wave of just being able to talk about your what exactly you're going through on a track, what exactly you're feeling mentally. Like, he was the first one to do that for the whole this whole new generation, where the older generation, they always said, don't worry, depression. Oh, it's no big deal. You're just sad. But there's so much more to it, and Kid Cudi really is the first one to talk about that, being able to express yourself, and being able to just go through that. And like, I seriously remember there were some nights I remember where just down and out because just by depression, and some nights I do seriously remember sitting there and talking about and just playing Kid Cudi. Like, just playing the project, playing the entire project front to back, and just sitting there. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there were some nights I cried just hearing that project, because it really helped me, and it helped me get through a lot of shit. And because the thing about it is, it feels good to hear somebody else talk about the same exact thing you're going through. Because the thing about that too is there's a lot of times where people who go through depression and things like that can't go to somebody inside their life. They can't like go to somebody to talk about their feelings because they feel like they might be judged or shamed for feeling certain ways. But the thing about certain people like Cudi who do that type of music is who can play their songs and their albums and you feel like you know what they're talking about, so it kind of feels like you're talking to them, or you're kind of hearing somebody talk about the same exact things you're going through. You know what I'm saying? So it feels it feels good. You know what I'm saying? That feels good. And that's kind of my whole thing when it comes to Kid Cudi and this project here in specific. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, Kid Cudi hasn't made great projects since then. Look, he had the first Man on the Moon, he had the second Man on the Moon, and the second Man on the Moon's fire. And yeah, he had some projects that weren't too great past that, but he's had some good, but it's just, this was a specific project that really got me through a lot. So, yeah, man, and the only thing I can say is, if y'all are struggling with depression or mental illness, there are people you can talk to in your life. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this flashback episode. I just want to thank you guys so much for all the views and the comments and all the likes. There's a whole lot more to come, and we're going to survive this together. So yes. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and shout out to Cudi. And say goodbye to the turkeys. And we'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.